Hello. Good day. This is the Flower of Freedom, and we're on chapter 72. This chapter comes with a preface. For the last half-century, both paramilitary and military entities and some corporations have attempted to use individuals with psychopathic tendencies to achieve their own goals. Controlling a psychopath is an illusion, always. Once military life, like life with the Nazis, is over, the people with these characteristics do not simply disappear. They go fortified and more practiced back into society, where they apply their skills to their own ends. In this book, Hans carries these characteristics, and in chapters 72 and 73, he lets them loose. He kills 2 people in each chapter. Well, I've tried to keep anything graphic to a minimum. You need to be warned. If you wish to skip these chapters, you can resume listening at chapter 74, which will be posted shortly, and it will not be difficult to pick up the thread. We wish you every blessing and all the peace your heart can hold. Warmly, Deborah. Chapter 72, Hans' Game Now. A few minutes later, Hans saw the boy waiting near the arena wall in the parking area. He sized him up, a skinny, stupid kid who did not know his manners, his station, or his betters. Time he was educated, Hans thought. He smiled at the boy. He called to him, saying, "Hey, what do you think this is? I've never seen anything like it." The thing to understand about hockey players is that they play a rough sport, so they are certain that they can handle anything. They're almost fearless, because they think they are the toughest monsters on the block. When the boy got to the corner of the building, Hans jerked him into the space between the back of the arena and the wall of the next building. The space was about 2 meters wide. It was perfect for what Hans had in mind. He slammed the boy's head against the back of the wall. Dazed, the boy was less able to fight him off. Hans drew out the boy's scarf and wrapped it tightly around his neck, and then he shoved the ends into the boy's gasping, gaping mouth. In pure, clear, almost staccato German, Hans said, "Let me introduce myself. My name is Hans Schmidt. They called me the Monster of Paris. I ran the SS station in Paris for a couple of years. That boy that you injured tonight is my son." The boy's eyes grew wide with terror. He was no longer fearless. Hans said, "That boy is worth 100 of you, 1,000, and you injured him. That makes me very upset. I think you broke his wrists, like this." Hans proceeded to break the boy's wrists. "And you probably broke his fingers." Hans snapped all 10 fingers on the quivering hands as he looked into the boy's eyes without blinking. He seemed satisfied to hear each one snap. He grinned more fiercely, and he leaned even closer to peer deeply into the boy's eyes. By then the boy was trying to vomit through his scarf, and he was choking. "We mustn't let you choke to death," Hans said with a chuckle as he removed the boy's scarf by pulling on one end. A stream of vomit followed the scarf ends out of the mouth. "I'm a bit worried that you might have broken his neck too." And with that, he wrenched the boy's neck to the side, and he allowed his lifeless body to slide down against the wall. That was not very satisfying, Hans thought as he urinated on the body. Not long after, a skinny man cruised through the parking lot in a rusty car. He moved his cigarette out of his lips and called out asking if Hans had seen a boy with a striped scarf and a navy blue jacket. Hans shook his head. The man muttered about lazy, unreliable idiots, and he drove away. A few minutes after, the coach came out of the side door, intending to head to his car. Hans spoke to the man, and he said it was a great game. I have never been a hockey fan, but this might just be my new favorite sport, he said, and the grinning man came closer. You really cut that other team down to size. Do you know who the kid is that they took away in the ambulance? Will he recover? Hans asked in a curious tone. I don't know, but they won't be bringing in another foreigner for one of our tournaments. Someone said that he's in intensive care. He's young. He's not from here. What does it matter? He grinned. Oh, you're probably right, said Hans. But I think they might have gotten even. Did you see this? Hans pointed behind the building, and the coach saw the boy he had coached for 6 years lying on the ground. He ran to him. Did you see who did this? He asked Hans with tears in his eyes. Yeah, I sort of did. It was that kid's father, the kid that they took away in the ambulance. That kid. The one you told this guy to take out. His father is really pissed about it. What? I thought he was here on vacation without his parents. I don't believe that you think very clearly at all. I am his father. Can't you see the resemblance? The coach's eyes skittered around and searched for an escape route. I took your guy out in a 1-for-1 trade. Now I must hold you responsible as well. You created this circumstance, and even if you did not kill my son, I have decided that you deserve a penalty, and I am taking the shot. That's the way it works in hockey, no? This time it will be a death penalty. The coach was fat and slow, like many hockey coaches are. Too much beer and fried food, Hans thought. By the time the coach really understood the play, it was too late. There was nowhere to run. He was too frightened to cry out. Hans punched him in the throat, broke each one of his fingers as he struggled to catch his breath, and then he broke his wrists. Finally, he broke his neck. Hans walked away, thinking of the rest of the tasks ahead of him that night. That's the end of this chapter. I just continue the warning for violence in the next chapter. That one is called Hans in Overtime. Just please come back at chapter 74 if you don't want to have your brain contaminated with the sorts of things that psychopaths get up to. As always, I hope this can be used constructively, and I wish you life's highest best. Thank you. I'm Deborah Reeves.